Hi, everybody. Uh, I'm Jenny Hensley, co-owner and effectiveness coach for Dynamics. And this is our weekly pep talk for you. We are here to help you get your week started off on the right foot and help you reclaim your time so you can reclaim your life and absolutely love your work again. We do these every single Sunday at 10 a.m. and they are posted in our Facebook history, on Instagram Live, and also on our YouTube channel, the Instructional Leadership Channel. Everything I share with you will either be in a post or in the show notes for you. And today we are working on our ongoing goal to stop bad meetings. And the topic is really going to be how to get real work done in your meetings. And we've done this topic before, right way back when we started the Facebook Lives, but really want to start doing it over the next couple weeks and getting more and more detailed. Several of you have been asking questions about specific processes, and we've spent 3 or 4 weeks on agendas and deciding agenda items. Now what do we do? So we know the agenda items, what's next? So today I'm going to share with you the next steps and an example. And then next week, I'm going to give you some more real life examples. So the first thing in terms of accomplishing real work in your meetings, you've already decided your 3 to 5 most important, most urgent agenda items. If you don't have 3 to 5 decided, go back and watch the last video. And so now you need to think about your team. What are the issues with your team? What are the special things that your team might need? In other words, you may have somebody who's a dominator. We did a whole video of that because that is the number one issue that we hear about. So do you need to keep that in mind? Does your team tend to go completely off schedule? If so, when you're thinking about process, you may need to think about using a timer and implementing that in your meetings. And then does your team tend to go off task? If your team goes off task, then it's important to keep that in mind because you'll need to have shorter, more tight processes that have shorter breaks and that keep you checking in with them all the time. So think about your team. That's the first thing you need to do, and keep that in mind when you're deciding on process. The second thing is to define the purpose and role. So you have the agenda item. And today I'm going to give you an agenda item that may be reviewing a policy that's going to go in front of your board and needs to be approved by your board. So, in general, that's the idea. The purpose is to gather input and feedback from your group and to help inform your decision or inform the policy and make it better and better until it's presented to the board for approval. The role of the group there is providing input. And again, I've said it and I'm going to continue to say it. It's essential that you let the group know their role, because if they believe that they're going to be making the decision, it's a very different conversation than they understand that they're providing input and then you share the rest of the decision-making process. So purpose plus role. Purpose today is going to be providing input for a possible board policy, and the role of the group is to provide input. This is the best part. Then you get to choose the process, and this is what makes really good meetings. People make the mistake of having this whole list of agenda items, and that's your agenda. Every agenda should have agenda items, and each agenda item should have a process. And the process is how you help the group and lead the group, facilitate them to interact, make sure that everybody is having input, and make sure that you get the work done that you need to get done. So we have on our website hundreds of processes that you can use for meetings. And this is again something that's been requested really, really often, and I even get emails all the time about specific issues you're dealing with or meetings you're having and what process would work. So over the next several weeks, I'm going to be sharing processes in social media and on shorter videos so that you have them. So today I want to talk about the process for our sample agenda item, which is, let's say that you have a group and they need to provide feedback for this board policy that's going to go to the board. So the first thing you do is we decided on a process that's called close read. And you'll have the process for them, the policy for them. It should be maybe a page, we'll say, or no more than a page and a half. And they will read on their own, and they will mark up with a question mark if they have a question, an exclamation point if they have a suggestion, or a plus if they want to say, let's make sure we keep that. Now, you can use this process for a whole bunch of different things, but this specific wording is for providing input on this imaginary board policy. So they go through and they read, and they put a question mark here, an exclamation point when they have a suggestion, and they have time to do that. So let's say that takes 15 minutes. Again, you're giving them time to think individually. For those people who tend to be more quiet, tend to be more introspective, it gives them time to think. Then have them share that out in probably pairs or in a small group, maybe at a table group. So they'll share out, let's say first you're going to share any questions you have. And then you stop and you share those questions out with the group so that they can answer the questions. You can answer any questions they have. Then the group goes back and shares maybe the pluses, which were the things that they want to make sure are really good and stay part of the policy. And then you share that out, and you're charting while you share that out, because that's how you gather your feedback so you can go back and use it. And then finally, you share out the exclamation points. And you can give them very specific, again, knowing your group. If they need really specific direction and they tend to wander off track, you may give them very specific questions when they're in their group. Something like, as you're meeting with your group, I would like one person to be the recorder and to record the themes that come up. And we're going to share your top 3 themes. That way you don't get to a million things and you get to find out what the group really thinks. So they've shared all of that information, and that gives you the input you need to go back, make any edits, anything that because when you have all these people look at it, it's going to give you more feedback, things that you didn't see. You go back and you do that feedback, and then you edit the policy, and then the policy goes to the board. So I would say, depending on your group size, this activity may take half an hour. This process may take half an hour to 45 minutes or so, but everybody has had an opportunity to participate. Everybody's been active. Everybody's been engaged, and then you also get really great feedback when you're making those decisions. So that is called Close Read. I'll share that process in a post for you. We have all the processes put into presentations so that you can just grab them and put them into your meeting presentations as you need them. So that's just one example as we go through how to choose a process once you have the agenda item, and this is really the meat of it. This is the essential part. It takes the planning so that, because what's the default? The default is you have this list, you run into the meeting, you kind of share the agenda item, whoever is really loud in the background shares it, or who's the most likely to speak will share it, and you don't get feedback from the whole group. So choose a process. We're going to be working on that over the next couple weeks and in several of our other videos. So I hope you try this in your meetings. And please, in the comments, if you have a specific meeting that's coming up or you have specific questions, just put them in the comments. Please like and share. And let me get my fancy graphic. Hold on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and it really helps us out and helps us to get the message out to more people. Please share the videos and information, especially with people who plan your meetings, so your meetings can be more engaging. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful Sunday. And as always, if you're lucky enough to have it off, please enjoy it. Have a great day, everybody.